Okay, I put in your packets the changes that you all requested. They were in the front of the 3 budgets that I had put in your packets. Those were the changes that were requested at the time of the workshop.
And Janie, is this on the website? Is this on the website to the,
It is not on the website at this time.
why not?
Yeah, because how are people gonna?
One person at a
figure
time.
out How to talk about it.
Let's go one person at a time so we can say what, okay?
So, it was not on the website?
It's not on our website. It can be posted tomorrow morning, but it has not been. I went back and I checked and there's only been one
That's been posted.
that's been posted.
Now we can start.
Should it have been posted, or was it supposed to be posted?
I don't know yet.
It should be posted. It has never been posted. The whole time I have ever been there, 35 plus years, it had never been posted. I went back and I looked into it and only 1 year was posted, which was 2019. Before that, after that, last year's wasn't either. I was not aware that it was supposed to be posted, because like I said, when I was here before, 35 plus, we have never posted anywhere, other than we make it available, we have it there. We have copies here if anybody's wanting a copy, and we have copies in the office for anybody that wants to look at it at any given time. But it will be posted tomorrow morning on our website.
But it's law that it's supposed to be posted, correct?
Yes.
It became effective something like 2007 or something like that.
2007.
And actually, it should have been done back in August.
Should have been
Before
done
we
since
voted on the
2007.
tax rate.
You know, the August, remember we went to that budget workshop?
Mhm.
And we started, first of all, who's the budget officer?
Your mayor. Your mayor.
I believe it's always been said that if you don't have a city manager, it's the mayor.
So everything we address, we should to the mayor, right? Everything, so
She
we,
is the chief.
she's the one that should have this done, right?
Well, not
City
not
administrator.
necessarily. It's usually the city secretary, city administrator.
Since the mayor's not a full-time employee, that's why you go.
No, but
you
the-
go-
but
you
the
go
law
through-
2000,
Yeah, but you go through,
But the law states that the mayor
Mayor.
is the budget
Yes.
officer. The law states.
since 2007.
Nobody wants to say that.
They haven't opened it up, they're waiting for you, I guess.
It's just that, it should have been on the website. It wasn't. She said, Jason said this is 2007. No, 2019.
I posted it once.
Yeah,
The
that's
one that's
only
on
one
the
time. It's been
website is
posted only one time.
2019.
I didn't post it last year because I wasn't city secretary.
So whether, pretty much everybody's here doesn't know what's going on, because they don't have no piece of paper in front of them.
Well, they didn't have it last year either.
I think she said she had copies of it.
Yes, they're all sitting right here, but last year, we didn't even have that. Past years, we've never had any.
None of the years, there's
None of
never
the years, I
been.
don't think I've ever been, well, you've all been on the board. Have you all ever had them available to anybody at any time?
If they ask.
No.
If
Well, they asked,
ask.
yeah, of course, you know. 'Cause-
One
But it
year,
states that you're supposed to have
one
them
year
available
was at the
on the website
2019.
So they can look at it.
So if it is the law, according to what you're saying, regardless of what has happened in the past, we have to do it.
Yes, it's gonna be posted. It's gonna be posted tomorrow morning.
So is
On
that
our
what it says?
But also the proposed budget should be posted. The proposed budget should also be posted before it's adopted.
That is what we're gonna be posting tomorrow.
So what does it say, before or after it's approved?
It says, well, I was reading that local government code, but it was passed in 2007. It says something like 30 days after, once you all had it. Well, I guess once approved, you have to voice approved because I guess for review, because that's what the public hearing is for.
They don't have, nobody has minutes to us.
So,
Right, but Jesse, that's the way it's always been. That's-
You don't have to do that online.
No, that's what I'm saying, that we're changing it, we're taking it, changed. And they're right here. Last year it wasn't here, the year before, 5, 10, 15, all that went up.
You did go to the budget workshop, did you?
Yes,
And you got the same thing back up.
yes.
So you didn't follow?
Once we went, I did not look back into it other than about posting it.
so you didn't know?
No, not
So
until,
you ignored it? You
until,
didn't know?
right, not before.
You didn't make a decision just to
No.
say, we've always done like this, so we're gonna do it like that.
No.
No.
It wasn't like that. We didn't do it that way.
Going forward, we just
Yeah.
need to make sure.
We do it,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
Like I said, tomorrow morning it will be posted.
Here or on the website?
Our
Or
website,
website.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do it?
Everything should be,
Who's gonna do it?
who's gonna do it?
Yeah. No, she knows, yeah, she knows to
They
do
know
it.
how to
Yeah.
forward it on to, yeah, scan it and
Yeah.
send it on.
It will get scanned. It will get fixed tomorrow.
Do y'all ask if anybody wants to speak, or do we just stand up?
You can raise your hand if anybody wants to speak. Go ahead.
No.
Is it in the white LEDs? Becky?
I don't think it's on.
Is it working, Don?
It's not working.
There's only 2 speakers on. Your blue light's not on, your speaker's not
No,
on.
it's not working.
You see the blue line.
It's okay, just talk about.
So mine's working. You can have mine.
I'll just holler. Holler louder than that. Okay, from what I've seen of the proposed budget, it's showing negative balances in 2 funds, general and system. These funds cover everything detailing the daily operation of the city except the garbage fund. According to the local government code, chapter 2, sections 102.003, subsection B, 5, and 6, the budget must contain a complete financial statement of the municipality that shows, number 5, the estimated revenue available to cover the proposed budget. And then the number 6, the estimated tax rate required to cover the proposed budget. This budget does not have any of that. On Thursday, on the 6th of October coming up, council will be going to a TML conference in San Antonio. This includes hotel rooms for each person going, registration fees, per diem for travel, etc. This conference is a necessary conference for our city government. However, when you have a negative balanced budget, how could this council spend taxpayer dollars for this conference? Where is your financial and fiduciary responsibility to the city of Odom? In my opinion, this budget was done in a limited time instead of following the procedure set forth by the Texas Municipal League and the Texas Local Government Code. Every year, TML sends you a calendar of dated guidelines beginning with when to start working on the budget and when to adopt the property tax rate. The date to begin is in July. According to your response, Jamie, at the September 6th meeting, at the council meeting, you were asked about the workshop date and you stated that You are not done with the budget yet. Also, in this budget, the council is proposing raises for all employees, including yours. And then you're adding some new employees. How do you justify these expenses when your budget is in the negative? When you raise salaries, you also raise the city's share of Social Security, Medicare, and the matching amount the city pays for each employee's retirement. When any budget ends with a negative balance, it means that you don't have the money to spend, just like you would in your house. And in order to balance this budget, you would need to cut as many expenses as possible, beginning with salaries, health insurance, travel expenses, major repairs that cannot be covered by grants. But of course, you would have to have audits in order for the city to get grants, which you don't. As a concerned citizen of the city of Odom, I am against the adoption of this budget.
I'd like to say I'm against the adoption of this budget also.
I'm not taking a vote right now.
I'm just saying, I'm against it.
Okay. This meeting's over. Public hearing's over. It's 6:57. So we'll start with we're gonna be starting with a regular city council meeting at 7 p.m. We're gonna let it
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
under
the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Do we have any public comments?
Becky, did you want to speak again, or was that?
My own, which I thought I was just doing for the public hearing. I can restate my statement if you want me to, but I think everybody already heard it.
Okay, then, no, that was it.
Okay, next, we're gonna start with monthly reports, monthly report from Allegiance. You can go from there, Stephanie. It's okay.
For the month of September, the city of Odom had a total of 49 calls, 19 of them being in the city limits. 2 of them were mutual aids that came in to assist us with the calls, and then 17 were in the city limits of Odom. One of them was out of compliance, but 25 minutes, we found out that we were having dispatch issues in San Patricio County with the paging system. It went bad. We got with this county and the paging system manufacturers. They sent us a new one that has been remedied. It was down for about 3 days. Total inside the call for your average response time was 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Secondary response for the mutual aid was 18 minutes. On the county calls, there was a total of 30, 1 being a mutual aid out of our response area to Taft, and then we had 3, including the 2 that were inside city limits, that came in to assist us during the month of September.
Y'all do have the schedule for the football, local football games, right?
We do.
Okay.
That particular night, the crew went out on a call right before the game, and the secondary unit went to assist them on an accident, and that's why everything was delayed. We do have the CPR, the community CPR class set up for the 29th at the community center. I haven't had people sign up with the QR code. I don't know if anyone's come in yet to the library or city hall to sign up. It's gonna be 9 to 5. The more I get signed up, the more we'll be able to select slots. We're gonna take lunch from noon to 1 for the instructors. It's about an hour long. It's a hands-only, depending on how many people we have, it's gonna depend on how many instructors we have, but HCA has come in to assist us with that as well. What time? The 29th, and we're gonna start it at 9 a.m. Till noon, and then 1 to 5, depending on how many citizens come in or sign up.
Does the school know about that, the class?
They
school?
do not. I sent it to Janie to be able to put out there on the social media and the website so everyone's can look at it and sign up if need be.
It's in the website. We can tag the school.
The 15th is the last day to sign up, just so we can kind of get an idea. If we don't have many, I'll probably extend it to a little bit further, past the 15th. That way we can create a schedule for the instructors and see how many we actually need.
The CPR lasts for how long? A year or 2
This one is just the community CPR where we're teaching hands only, which is with CPR on the American Heart Association, it changes every 2 years. So by the time that it hits the south region of the United States, it's already changed up there. And so it just kind of rolls back down, and it's a vicious cycle. The hands only is you don't have to do the mouth-to-mouth, just compressions, which is the most important part of CPR, to keep the blood flow going to the brain and the circulating. So if there's anyone that wants to go further and actually get a 2-year certification, we can hook them up with an instructor for a class.
Are y'all having any problems getting in with the Halo flight?
I have not had any issues that have been reported to me.
No, I'm saying because I know they have the road closed over there and they have the barriers on there.
So I'll have the crews drive by and see tomorrow, see if they can get through to it.
Yeah, because I guess people have moved it before. I guess their guys had to move it to Como.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get the crews drive by tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you know there's some kind of funding from Halo Flight that will allow us to fix that up?
I've actually got with the Halo Flight person, and they're trying to see if they have anything and follow up with what Mathis on what they did to get that set up so that I can bring it back to y'all.
What did Mathis do?
They actually just put a new pad out there, but I don't know if it was all grant money.
It was EDC,
I'm sorry?
EDC.
EDC. But they're working on getting some information for me.
Good, okay.
We're gonna keep that move pretty low over there.
The guys will move it.
It was like.
No,
They
it's
they have an area to
Yeah.
make sure that
Yeah,
it's there.
okay,
It's facing-
Because it's like a jungle up there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Monthly report from Special Management Consultant, John Redgate. He's helping her.
You're up.
Thanks.
This month has been a little shy on our outside calls. We have had quite a few large sewer and water operations going on this month. As some of you have seen the equipment around the city. The boys and everything are doing the best they can right now under the conditions that we have with the amount of manpower and everything. And we are utilizing contractors to help. Some of the projects that we've had were larger than we could have dealt with anyway if we had a full crew. So in that aspect, we would have had to use the contractors anyway for that. We had discussed doing some road patching, and I'll be getting with the mayor and that, and we'll be posting. We're going to utilize that in small segments to address, I want to address all of the major problem areas in the city first, and then we'll address the other areas as we go on. All of them that are going to knock out your front wheels and your bearings and your engines, we want to take care of those first. And then we'll address the smaller issues as we move forward. And we'll be going out for that. We'll try to utilize local bids and other bids for that as well. Yes.
Maybe like somebody here can get a hold of Tech Stop on those places on Nolan and improve it. We got some deep holes that you don't know they're there. You have to go in the middle lane, go around them.
Yeah, actually, I've already been discussing that. The mayor brought that to my attention quite some time back, and they're working on getting that installed. Unfortunately, I can't say today, but they are working on that.
Behind this, that sewer line, it's in that shape, right?
Yes, sir, it is. And what we had is we had a multiple area collapse, and the city's experienced issues with this area for quite some time. And we were able to go in and jet the problems and remove some of the blockages. However, the sewer line is a clay material, and it actually collapsed, causing the dirt and stuff to backfill in. And we ended up having to go in and literally extrude a pipe through the clay pipe, blowing the clay pipe up and bringing the plastic pipe internally, versus doing all the digging and things we had in some of the other areas. As some of the residents, y'all know, we get quite a bit of complaints as the equipment goes in the backyards and so on and so forth. But we will take care of whatever ruts and things are done. But yes, sir, it was really bad. But it affects that whole entire block. So we're on the completion side of that. And so that's going to prevent all the rain blockages, all the water blockages, sewer backups, and all the things that were typically associated with that. A lot of times when you tap into old clay pipes, your taps go in, the clay breaks around it, mud gets in there, and it just creates a problem. We had 2 trees that we literally had to bore through underground in order to do it, so we don't pull the trees out. So, yeah, it was a large project.
Where they put the cement on top of the clay pipe and it collapsed, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Yes. So, and then we have several large water mains that we're dealing with. One tonight it's been posted from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll be doing water main section replacement, and it'll be affecting from 2221 outward. And so hopefully everyone does everything they need to do out in that area by 10 p.m. tonight, so they don't have the issues when the water gets turned off. That's just for those of you that live out in that area. So.
See, it's a good meeting that you came to, sir.
And we do monitor all the projects that go on and all of that sort of things.
Staffing, how are you on staffing?
Well, we're still currently at the same level we were. I did speak to the mayor and Janie to get some flyers out for the gentleman for our water department. And as of yet, we haven't received any applicants, as I was told so far, but we are trying and we're looking. So yes,
Water,
sir.
you should have how many?
Water, we should have 4.
And how many do you have?
We have 1.
So parks?
Parks, we have a alternate, so we're okay there for now. But what I'm mainly concerned with right now is our water.
How many employees do you have cutting grass and all that?
4.
And you should have how many?
We usually have 5.
5.
Yes. And I believe at one time we had 5 and 5, and then it kind of just varies from there.
The budget is 5?
I believe he budgeted four.
I budgeted four?
I think we did 4.
Okay.
Yes,
You're
yes,
good there.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
It's like they caught up already.
Well, we're getting there in some of these larger projects, like I say, even if we had a full crew right now on board, they wouldn't be able to handle these projects because we don't have boring equipment. We don't have the equipment necessary to do that anyway. But yes, we're looking for that. And we've got a little hiring schedule that we're gonna do for those guys. I'm gonna vet them a little bit differently and try to work some of the areas out where we get personnel that's more suited for that particular type of work. That way we don't get people in and they get discouraged because they didn't really understand the job and things like that. It's a stressful environment out there and the boys have to deal with that on a daily basis. Just like any job, any city, it's stressful no matter where you go. Especially when you have 2,800 people that you have to appease. It's stressful, so yes.
Okay, and the next one is
A couple of years ago, maybe it was 3 years ago, city purchased a sweeper. What's the deal with that sweeper? I don't see it.
Okay, well, that sweeper, as I understand it, it belongs to the city. It is not shared by Sinton or anything. And it is only utilized when the environments that we're cleaning the streets are very dry, so we don't damage the bats and the brushes as much as we did. That's what damaged our other sweeper, is they would go in and try to remove large debris, rock and things of this nature. It gets hung up in the bats and brushes of the sweeper and it damages it.
But is that what it's made for?
Well, to a point. I mean, there's several different types of sweepers out there. You can have sweepers that are designed for picking up light particulate, like small dirt, leaves, that kind of debris, which that's what we have. Or there is also larger sweepers that can actually pick up larger material like small concrete rocks and debris of that nature. Our bats are set small for just typical debris. And if we were to reset our bats and everything for the larger debris, then when you're going down a residential street and you pick up small debris when the bats are larger, it just creates a lot of dust and dirt and it's not good. So we try to keep them tight so when they are sweeping, we don't end up creating a dirt cloud and things like that.
So often we use
it. When it was set up, originally, I don't know the schedule for that. Right now, it's set up for every 2 weeks. The gentleman will go out and catch the streets. Or if we notice things that we have to take care of, like we had some issues. We had a lot of mud in one of the subdivision areas. And so we went in and dried that mud and then used a sweeper to pick it up. And then we physically picked up the rest of that mud out there for them. And that has been an ongoing problem due to some construction work and some sewer work out there.
Are we still paying on that sweeper thing?
Yes, I believe that this is just the second payment, and I believe it's either 5 or 7 years.
How much?
200 and, no, I think it's something like, Hilda, about 25,252 a year.
Once a year.
Per year. And I think it was for 5 years. I think they had just gotten it like the year, last year that y'all came in, I think they had just gotten it like November or something like that before.
Yes.
So it's new, they just got it.
Well,
And that's why,
I think Yolanda has a good point, is, I mean, we're spending that kind of money, we're not using it.
well, we do use it. We're just not using it on the rougher areas right now. But because we're trying to maintain maintenance and levels on the sweeper, but yes, I can increase the levels that we go out. That's not a problem
But
at all.
another problem though we have with that is they're back parking the cars on the street.
That does tend to do that. Really, when we sweep, we need to sweep at times where most everyone is at work. Otherwise, it's really a futile deal because you can sweep all you want, the cars move away, and then you didn't get.
So can you follow the brush schedule, maybe?
We can set it up at any schedule we like. I told the boys that when they seen the roads getting bad, to just schedule it and run the sweeper in there and clean it up.
Oh, they're not gonna run it.
And so that's how we, well, several of them,
Well,
no, in all fairness, several of them, when we tag up and I'm doing that, I'll call them and have them do it as well. So, I'm through the city more often than you folks think.
John, 77, can we get that swept up pretty quick?
That is bad.
Sure.
77. All 77.
Well,
Evan lost to Texas.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
does it?
no,
The
no.
street sweeper?
You
Street sweeper?
sweep the 77, because I talked to
Inside city.
the
Robert?
city, and he said we could, it's our, we
It's
can.
our responsibility.
it's
yeah,
our-
for that, we'll reset the bats for that, because that
Yeah.
does have a lot of.
I mean, because right here in this corner, you got
We
the
can do
big
that. We can
cement.
Yes,
blocks.
correct. We can reset the bats for that. And I'll get with the boys on that.
You make the donut guy happy.
Yeah, but that's really what, to tell you the truth, that's what really tore up our other sweeper, because Sinton was using it, we were using it, and they were picking up everything without adjusting those, and it was just tearing it up. That's what ultimately killed it.
Yeah, if we get Texas out or whatever, just get that 77.
I've got two more things now.
No, no problem. No,
This road right here, the railroad tracks on, so, man, they're bad. People have to literally slow down to cross those railroad tracks right here. Is there anything we can do with,
well, I can get with the railroad department and try to get them to reschedule that.
oh, it's bad, especially when you're coming this way.
Yeah, I can get with them and see what they can do. We've talked to them in the past, sir, until we're literally kind of blue in the face.
Okay.
They're good people, they're just hard to get them to commit to a time frame. Yes, I'll give them a call, and then I'll put it in writing and their responses, and I'll forward it to all of y'all. So,
Okay.
so everyone's on the same page with that, absolutely.
And you have some good news for the fire department roof?
Well, the fire department roof has been awarded. Right now, I haven't mentioned to any of the council members the contractor yet, because I'm still waiting for the final paperwork to get signed. So in the event that something backs out, I have a plan B, I have a secondary contractor. So if something backs out, or they change their mind, or whatever it is, I want to make sure that once it's signed, then I'll publicly announce it. But yes, to this point, it has been awarded. And it's not, just keeping that for those reasons until we get it finalized, and then I'll make it known to everyone.
I mean, those firemen have,
Absolutely, we're gonna redo the entire roof section and the vents, the downspouts, everything,
Okay.
all three buildings. Absolutely.
thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have the quarterly report from Fire Chief Huerta. He's not here. He did, you should have his. Yeah.
You didn't send anything?
And he said this right
Okay, did he send somebody? No, but he didn't send anybody.
No.
That's what I'm saying. He did send out the papers, but not the.
I know he did say he was not gonna be here, but he didn't say if anybody else was going.
Yeah, he gave us this.
Yeah, because you did sure about that.
The only thing I'd like to, if y'all can talk to them, there's a couple of people, like, when the sirens goes off, and I know they're in the fire department, they're in a rush to get there, but sometimes they come down cook way too fast. There's kids at the gym, just to be careful, you know? I don't know, just give them a heads up,
Okay.
just see, you know, they gotta be alert when they do that.
Okay. Next, we're gonna have quarter reports from Police Department. Chief Russo.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. First thing I want to go over with is going to be the single sheet's going to be our impound. Our impound just changed a little bit from the last time you saw it, because we got it to September 30th. First column is going to be the payments, and then you have the deposits, and then how much the city actually keeps at the end of the balance. No? No? Okay, and then I'm gonna go now to the copper service. I apologize, the copper service, not all the calls came out. Of course, you gotta remember, not all the calls come out because the open calls that we actually have, or open investigations don't come out of this list. We ended up with just the quarterly, the 3 months, we ended up with 292 calls. Okay. Out of the 292 calls, we still have probably maybe 30, 35 calls that are open, with investigations. They don't come out on here because they're still under investigation. You can look through its front and back. It's the same list, it's the same form that we have every time. our calls are increasing a little bit. More residents, more calls, more patrol. We do have more homes coming in, so we do have to patrol out there. So, there's a lot of things that have changed that we actually have to do, the officers have to do. But it's always gonna increase as we get more residents coming in. The last thing that I have is gonna be on our permits. That's gonna be the last form. That one, if you notice, is to be the last page. That's how much we collected, 91,704 on our permits. That is done by Isabel Rose and myself.
That's on the here.
That's
That's on the here. That's on the here.
that's what we-
Is that what that is?
no, not looking at that. We do have some that we kind of put in here, that haven't been taken yet, haven't been inspected yet, so we're gonna put them in here and that's already in. We also have that, last night out on Saturday.
Saturday.
So there's one out there that's really good. It's gonna be, from 6 to 9. We try to show the public what's being out here surrounding the area, and the services we have, and try to get everyone to come in and enroll our police officers. The school is backing up to let them into the parking lot again, so it's gonna be at the school. So it's this Saturday, yes, ma'am. It's gonna be October 8th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So y'all come up, please come out.
Joe, how are we doing on violation on like, grass and buildings and stuff like, do we have any
We
kind of?
still, we still are doing, of course, we lost 2 officers, so I actually had to put that officer in, where one of those officers was at. When we lost those 2 officers, he had to get up for that and do patrol. But he still, when he sees it out there, he still sends it to Rosie, and Rosie still sends a letter, and then we still send citation and so on. Fortunately, sometimes it's the same ones over and over and over, so all we could do is cite and move it to the court, and then the court resolves it.
So to answer your question, on the corner of Time and Cook.
And Cook.
You already know.
It's been said already.
But we always wait till that.
Well-
And then we go in there and we have to put
We have
3
to,
man or.
we have to
4
give
man.
them 10 days, and then we also, after 10 days, we cite, and after we cite, we have to then for them to receive the citation. And once they receive the citation, then we get our guys to actually cut it. Now, our guys they don't have enough manpower to cut right now, so it's kind of hard for our city to cut.
There's nothing you can do that says, I mean, you can send it to them and say automatically, we'll go in there and cut it if we see.
We usually do, but we haven't had the manpower to actually cut a lot of stuff. We usually, unfortunately, the city usually cuts that, and we actually have a bill for them and then the citation as well.
I would hate to live next door or across the street, or who knows what comes out of there.
Correct. And it's something that we're gonna process over again with the city. Unfortunately, we're gonna cut it again. And that's when we have to get with Jane or trying to put a lien on that home or that property.
Because how many times y'all cut it?
Do 100 times, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times,
Which one?
several.
Time and Cook.
We've cut it several times.
They've cut it several times, but right now, if that's the same one, that's the one that has bees in it.
No, that's
No,
gonna
no,
be
that's
the one
not the
on
one.
3.
This one's.
That's gonna be a 300 block of code. That one has bees. So that one we can't get
That's
it.
That one, we can't get near it.
We do cite, but yeah. Unfortunately, the bee, we can't do anything about that because it's the home's responsibility, the owner.
Oh,
What about,
yes,
what
yes.
Humphreys and Cook? Used to be Robertson. As you go down. What's the thing?
I would have to look with the.
It's
with
right
the-
after the railroad track, going
This
Cook
one right here.
towards 234.
I know what
You
you're talking
can't
about.
even
in the
see the
corner.
house.
Yes.
I have a picture of it.
Yes, we do. Actually, Tony, we did get a complaint on that, so Tony did send a letter on that. And he used to cut it all the time, I don't know what happened.
He did, I know. If the city can't allow its workers because of their being so busy, can we contract somebody to come do it?
I don't think we got the budget to do that.
We can't contract them?
No, because what happens is the city would have to pay that contractor, and then we have to wait for that individual to pay us. If they're not even paying the city, they're not gonna pay the contractor.
So we just became a
Isn't
lawn
that-
service.
Isn't that way they were doing it before, right? They were doing it that way before, that they would get a contractor, y'all had a contractor
We
like
had a
several years
contractor,
back.
yes, we did have a contractor, and
They
what
had-
happening, I started seeing that the owners, the property owners weren't paying for it, so the city was losing out, and I told them, we need to stop, because we started losing too much money.
Everybody always do the contractors.
And that contract for mowing can't be combined in with their court fee?
No, you change,
You can't combine.
no, because that's not a violation.
Okay.
What's the fee for that violation?
Mayor,
Can we get you to it?
No, sir, sure not. I haven't gotten any citations. I've not gotten any citations.
Yes, we got some citations, we have some citations,
Filed in the court. Yes, sir.
by Tony Gonzalez. If you look them up, Judge, I'll come to you when you get back to the office.
thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just a quick note, I did see the weed guy today. The weed.
Oh, okay.
Who's this dude?
Oh, yeah, I saw the.
The weed guy crazy?
Call you on that one too.
I took John about it.
Okay, next we have quarterly report from municipal court, Judge Guerrero.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. So,
It's hard, right? Did it went on?
yes, you know,
Why don't you just get one and we'll get to
I think there was enough there. That might be a little bit too many, but you can go ahead. Everyone got one?
I got one from, yeah, everybody got one.
It's
the
only
same.
one page.
It's the same.
Oh, okay. It's only one page. And you can see that we have finished the fourth quarter and how much revenue was collected. And you can see the balance of the third quarter. We go down to the citations and you can see everything that, every citation that the police department has filed. And you see the very bottom one, September, 96 citations were issued in 1 month. And it goes up to 101 because maybe one citation has 2 charges on it. And so that's why you see the difference there in the violations. That there are your totals. You can definitely see that the fourth quarter did drop, the third quarter did drop. First and second were way up there. And lack of not having enough employees, one full-time and one part-time, has just like really put a damper on it that we can't, devote ourselves to collecting more revenue than what we do. But you have your totals there. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. We are doing 3 Zoom hearings this month. I did get with Effie. I guess, Jamie, you did contact him also, is that correct? You did contact Effie?
Yes.
Okay, and so we are having 3 Zoom cases that are already set for this month and for the month of November. And so I'm also having hearings in court. And so we are trying everything that we can to have more cases heard, and the Zoom cases for the defendants that pled not guilty, and they have the Zoom case with Effie and the clerk and the defendant. That works out real well, real well. Any questions?
So Janie, we were having 2 as discussed, right? So you all went to 3 now?
Yes, sir.
So increased it by
We
1,
have three schedules for this month.
but y'all were doing 2. right?
Yes, sir. Mhm. And anyone who has ignored us are being held on Tuesdays or Wednesdays anyone who has ignored us, a letter's being sent out for them to come in. And of course, there are some dependents who live far, that they'll certainly start calling in wanting to do something about their kids, because they don't want to travel all the way from where they live to Overton.
So what does that reactivated mean?
Reactivated, sir, that means that a certain amount was activated, and then reactivated means those were the citations that were also added in there. And then the next one is filed, and reactivated is that they were brought back. They were brought back for some reason or other, and they were reactivated, the cases.
So they weren't taking care of it?
No, sir, they were not taking care of their business. So we woke them up. We woke them up.
That's a lot.
Yes, sir. I guess a lot that live out of town feel that, you know, Odom is a very small town, and they're not going to answer or pay their citations or the monies that is owed. And so we try as hard as we can to let them know that we're here, we haven't forgotten about.
You know, accept electronic payment and everything?
Yes, sir, that is, I didn't bring that, I had it sitting on my desk, I should have made a copy of that for y'all to see exactly how much is being collected in cash, which is not very much, and well, not very much, but the credit card payments are way up there.
Okay.
It's way up there, and money orders are up there, but cash is not as much, but that's okay. It's being paid with electronic checks.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
What?
Oh, there it is.
Stop. A little buzz. A little buzz.
He's shaking his foot.
So, yeah, that's me. So are you full staff?
A full employee and a part-time.
So you're full.
Part-timer comes in, yes, that's all I'm allowed. The part-timer comes 2 days a week.
So I have one last question.
Yes, sir.
Somebody pays with a credit card, right?
Yes, sir.
How does that city get the money?
Okay, it's paid through a credit card, and we get notified of it, and we post it, and then I believe it's deposited and it's moved over to the city. I'm not quite sure on that.
It goes direct to the bank.
To the bank?
Yeah, and then it comes out on our bank statement. I mean, we get,
So it goes into the city.
And I believe that's the
yes,
daily.
transfer
Yes,
city
sir.
accounts.
Okay, so,
Transfer to the bank,
okay.
to the bank. Sir.
Okay, so I don't mean to get off of your subject, but I don't know, throw it on the impound. The money, how do we get that money from?
From the impound,
Yes.
it's deposited into.
That
the-
somebody comes and picks up the deposit, Linda, comes and picks up the deposit.
Okay.
Yeah, she makes the deposit.
Yeah, the city's the one that deposits. it.
All right, okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Next, we're gonna do discussion and action items to be considered. First, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the minutes of the public hearing and regular meeting held on September 6, 2022.
I move to approve, public hearing and the regular meeting, so September 6th.
I second.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote from place one. Yes. Place two.
Yes.
Place three.
Yes.
Place four.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is discuss, consider, take action to approve the letter to support in the 5-year revision of San Patricio County. Sarah?
Good
You're up.
evening.
Sarah. How are you today, Sarah?
Good. So, for those of you I may have not met, my name is Sarah Williams. I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator for San Patricio County. And as your city is one of our signatories on our program and our emergency operations plan, I am therefore also your emergency manager. The agenda item tonight is has to do with the upcoming revision to the Hazard Mitigation Action Plan. This is a plan that we do, we revise every 5 years. The last time that we did this, Hurricane Harvey kind of threw a wrench in our works, and it took us a little longer than we intended to get it approved by FEMA, and it was finally approved in September of 2019. So we're looking forward to, we're gonna have to have the revision complete before September, or before the end of the year in 2024. So we are looking at, we as the county have applied for grant funding through the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program that's administered by the Texas Division of Emergency Management. And we're awaiting a confirmation on award for the funds to hire a consultant to help us go through this process. It's pretty extensive. We update a lot of data and information about all the communities within the county, as well as changes to our population and hazards, which a lot has changed even just in the last 5 years, with a lot of development and things across the county. So that changes our hazard profile. So the things that we have to plan for. As part of this plan, we also identify possible projects to mitigate or lessen or eliminate the effects of particular hazards. It could be anything from traffic to flooding to hazardous materials, hurricanes, and any type of hazard that affects our area. And that what happens when we identify these projects is it helps us to have projects that we have at least the beginning of scoping on, so that, and we have the parameters of the project identified, so when grant opportunities arise, we're able to much more efficiently apply for grant dollars to complete those. And that's not only for the county, but apply for the cities as well. So when we did our last edition of this plan in 2019, all of the cities, with the exception of the city of Francis, were signatory to the mitigation action plan. The only reason they did not is because they are, bisected by the county line with Francis County. And Francis County had done their revision first, so they opted to do it then. This time they're actually going to come on to our plan, since the majority of their cities within our county. And when we go out for grant dollars, and there's a lot of them coming to the area, they always ask us, is this included, this project that you're proposing, is it included in your local hazard mitigation action plan? It's kind of one of those check boxes. They want to make sure that we've thought this through and that we've done our homework and our research. And so that's what we're doing with this process. I had sent out a, excuse me, a template letter, which we're having all the cities pass through their councils to be able to, I've been talking a lot today.
You got no water?
Water, excuse me. And we'll, but the, with this letter, it just shows that your city intends to be included in the upcoming revision. And as you'll notice, it states that you agree to participate in the planning meetings and in the process as we go through it. So everybody's time that they put in, each individual from every city, we also intend to have the school districts and some of our utility districts work with us during this revision as well, to make sure any projects or anything that regarding them can also be included. And everybody's time counts towards what the local match of the grant. So when we did this the last time, we were able to basically get, I think it was about 95% of our local match covered through in-kind donation of time and effort. And so that meant the county wasn't out any actual cash, or very little, when it came to the reimbursement process after we finished the plan. Yes, sir.
The COG has that $1.7 million. Is that part of the
The 179
million? And I think Odin's allocated 2.7.
Yeah, so that's a whole different.
So that's not part of this?
No, that's not part of this. However, that grant programs like that are why we do these plans. 'Cause
Okay.
as we fill out those applications, they are going to ask us, was this included in a
Oh,
plan?
okay, so kind of,
Yeah, because they want to vet it to make sure that it's something that we've actually thought through. Now, it doesn't mean that a project that for whatever reason maybe didn't make it into a plan is not eligible. It just helps in the scoring process. And if something comes up from this revision to the next, and you guys have a new issue arise or something like that, and you want to add it to, we can always make amendments and add projects in between. So you don't have to wait till the next major revision.
And Ms. Williams does contact us a lot, we work together a lot.
They get lots of emails.
So it's something that, we communicate a lot, and it's a good thing, because any disaster or anything comes up, we're notified about it.
We've been working very hard. I began my tenure with the county in November of 2017, just on the heels of Hurricane Harvey. We've put in a lot of effort to make sure that you guys are getting lots of information about what's going on, what opportunities are out there. They hear about me nonstop about training, and we work with different groups to do exercises and practice. I've spent a lot of time with everybody's fire departments, thanks to all the wildfires that we had over this last year. And so we work really hard. We're actually going to be at your National Night Out event this weekend. One of my staff members will be there. So y'all give her a hard time for me. She volunteered to take it on Saturday, so we'll pat her on the back. But
I make a motion to approve the letter of support for 5 years for San Patricio County Hazard Mitigation and Action Plan.
Motion made by Jesse, second by Yolanda. Any discussion?
Should we discuss?
No, by y'all.
Who attends the
Any
meeting?
more questions?
You and Jamie, or
Gerald.
Oh.
Gerald.
nobody?
No, but we've attended the meetings that she's had to.
Most of the conference meetings are the ones who attend,
Because
under
it's-
contact, so they contact me, but they have attended some of the ones that we can go to. They ask for the mayor's.
And I'm always, if for any of you on council, if you ever have any questions or hear about anything come up, I'm a phone call or email away. I'm happy to come to council anytime that you need to help clarify.
Who's the new grant writer? What's her name?
Her name is Melanie Cooper.
Melody Cooper.
She spent some time with the city of Corpus Christi Fire Department doing grant writing for them. Spent the last about 10 years working in the private sector grant management on the other side.
Yeah.
And so she joined us in July, and she's very smart, very sharp. And she's working with us at the county to streamline our processes, identify grant dollars, make sure everybody understands what's eligible, what's not. And so, like when we've got big pots of money like this one that everybody's heard about with the COG, this big mitigation fund, she's working with me to help make sure that all of the cities within the county understand, all the grant parameters and how it all works.
Take a vote for place one?
Yes.
Place two?
Yes.
Place three?
Yes.
Place one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
What you doing?
Good night.
You too.
Thank you.
You sure you want to stay?
No, I got a bunch of kiddos I gotta go take care of. But you'll have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Discuss, consider, and take action to approve mayoral proclamation for World Teachers Day. And it's, I'm gonna read it. City of Oldham Teachers Day Proclamation. Whereas the City of Oldham's future strength depends on providing a high-quality education to all students, and whereas teacher quality matters more to student achievement than any other school-related factor, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lesson plans and supporting students, and whereas our Oldham Edward Independent School District teachers have demonstrated great resilience, adaptability, and creativity during the COVID-19 crisis, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, and whereas Teachers Can is a statewide movement supported by more than 125 partnering businesses and organizations committed to elevating the teaching profession and honoring the critical role teachers play in the success of Texas. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Oldham City Council joins the Teachers Can and its partnering entities across Texas in celebrating World Teachers Day and proclaims October 5th. Hold on. I won't say that part until you approve it.
If you want to be a teacher, go for it.
Maybe I can make a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the mayoral proclamation for the
Okay, motion made by Yolanda, second by Tidwell. Any discussion? No.
Yeah, I didn't bring the
Well,
teachers.
Phase one,
Yes.
phase two,
Yes.
phase three,
Yes.
phase four?
Yes.
Okay, no. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Oldham City Council joins Teachers Can and its partnering entities across Texas in celebrating World Teachers Day and proclaims October 5th, 2022 to be City of Oldham Teachers Day, and be it further resolved that the City of Oldham City Council encourages members of our community to be a light for Oldham teachers and personally express appreciation to our teachers and display a light blue ribbon outside your homes or businesses the week of October 5th as a symbol of support for our educators. And we have a plaque for the teachers.
Seven ladies? Lottie did bring me enough apple tree. Blame it on her. Thank you, ladies.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Mary can buy us tacos tomorrow. Oh, you're not gonna be here.
I know it's like I'm.
Thank y'all.
Memories.
Okay, item D, we're gonna reschedule that one for November, she couldn't make it. So okay, now we're gonna go to item E, discuss, consider, take action to approve the budget for fiscal year 10/1/2022 through 9/30/2023.
I'm making sure that we do not approve the budget for fiscal year 10/1 to 9/3.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Well, I feel like in the public hearing, the public should have more info on this budget. We have nothing on the internet. I don't know, Becky would say it. We don't have,
Don't forget Becky to just stick here.
well, that's what made my decision. You know, we had all these things that they're supposed to do, and we didn't do it.
Plus, they were red.
I'm not so sure that we are in the red, other than maybe it's the way it was done. But I would like, hold on. I would like for us to look at the last 6 years and see how the budget was done. And I'd like to see if we were in the red then.
No.
Because I talked to other cities, and you might be in the red now, but there's other things that come throughout the year that you technically, illegally can't put on the budget. Now, is it right? I don't know. And that's why when we had the workshop, I was asking if we could give more time for us to do research, to be able to make a good decision, rather than making us make a decision because of crunch time. I guess my second thing is, if we don't approve it tonight, what happens?
What you can do is you can amend this item, and you amend it to continue to operate on the current budget for the 2021,
That's what the law
2022
says.
until 60 days from now, and like that, we can go back and.
Okay.
I don't know about 60 days. I think we can just,
do 60 days.
Well, it's a start. It's a start.
yeah, well, yeah, 60 days is a
You
lot.
don't have to go, you don't have to.
No, that's what I'm saying,
I
60
mean,
days.
they allowing us-
I don't know where'd you find that, where'd you find that info?
Epi,
Our city
or
attorney,
city attorney.
he says it
Can you,
shouldn't
can
take
you,
60
can you
days.
reference where you found that?
Where he found that?
Can you tell him, email it to me? Because I looked for I couldn't find that. I talked to a couple of attorneys and they just said, you operate on last year's budget.
But you have to amend
Well,
it to
yes.
operate it, but we have to go back and
Yeah.
redo the.
Well,
I mean, just to,
Yeah.
yeah, he's right, because I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
find
can-
anything either.
Yeah,
I couldn't find anything on the web, and I asked other cities,
Mhm.
but I really don't want to go off of that. I wanted to be able to see something that says,
Mhm.
hey,
this is it.
this is it.
Concrete.
Yeah, and, you know, there is some items in there that,
Maybe we need to relook at.
Exactly.
Because I did express my concern at the
Yes, you
time. I've never
Yeah.
heard of adopting a negative budget, but I do know that some of the things that, yeah, that were mentioned that you can't put in there, but how do we let the public know that there are these funds?
well, and that's why I'm asking for the last, I want to look at the last 6 years and see what the differences are. And if we're doing it right, and we're doing it right, great. And if we're not, how can we make it better? That's all I want.
And
We have
maybe,
to,
maybe
like-
not all in one day, because that was a little bit rough.
Oh, that was a
And
lot.
we were tired.
No, I know, but we
and-
could have come back, that's what we could have come back the next day.
We could have, but I would say, let's, if we all do
Yeah.
each do our homework.
Right.
Let us each do our homework. Let's spend more than one day. Let's spend maybe one day we'll do the general, the other day we'll do the next one, which is. Yeah.
That's what they are.
And I think we were here till midnight. So, you know, by then you've already started your day at 6. I do agree with all that. So, I would be okay with us doing. This really make the right decisions. Like I said, I don't know that it's time to go. Maybe we didn't try it out right, maybe there's something that we missed, like I said. I don't know, but I would be okay with that. So
Just in the right track, that time they included also fees. They included the same industry, they all did, so that's why.
I'll go back 6 years and I'll make copies of everything.
There you go. And let's look at it, just to make sure.
Because I was adding up the
Yeah.
totals of these that we have right here, and, I mean, it's a pretty high now.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I-
Right, right, I mean, I'm saying, how can we be in the red? Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the amounts that we were just given, like.
Yeah, but you can't.
And not that you're gonna have that every year, but.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
we
know,
don't have
I
that.
know.
Yeah, we can, yeah, there's
I know.
sometimes we can count on something
I know,
like that.
so,
That's right, yeah,
so we could,
okay.
I'm okay with that.
So
Do
you'll
we
need
know
to
when
make an amendment.
get approved for the budget, because it might affect some of our grants?
It
Now, what,
Do we know when it might be approved, because it might affect some of our grants?
Sorry.
we could probably, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about I'm okay with that. I mean, let's work, I'd rather have more time
Yeah.
than crunch the way we were.
That way,
Hey, even if they were to give us 5 days, that's more than.
Yeah.
We were doing it all.
hopefully we do get some time that way, I can just send
Yeah.
any detail I have to send, I will.
Okay, we can
If
talk.
it does affect it, hopefully it doesn't,
Well, then we
fingers
could
crossed.
just schedule a workshop for Tuesday to make
First you need to
And then,
amend,
somebody needs to amend it first before. we
to
do that.
amend this motion that was made to continue on the current budget. You need to continue, you have to have a budget.
Well,
To
it,
continue.
it's-
And it can be
it
300.
continues regardless, it just,
No,
that's,
it has to be,
where does it say that?
You just said that. to continue on.
No, but it's, if you don't approve it, it just automatically, it just continues, you don't have
But it's
to.
better if the city.
Okay, well,
attorney
I'll
says-
reamend it.
Let's just do it right.
Okay.
So we don't wanna-
So,
Yeah. What
Yeah,
they-
she gets it.
I'd just like to point out that, and I was looking at the budget, and I know you told us all on, that was a 10, the step was 10, on 10 months. on, when you gave actual spend. But when you extended and put your proposed dollars amount in there, you didn't allow for the next 2 months that goes into the year. So all of those proposed dollars are only based on 10 months.
No, it's not.
I
It's
did
based-
it.
I
I
took
went
an
back and
average.
looked at them.
I took an average on everything times 12.
Then they're not right, I'm sorry, because
Okay.
they're way under it. You had to
We'll
use 12
continue.
months.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to remember, just to go ahead, do not approve the budget and just continue with physical budget up to 2021.
21, 22.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, you amend the motion
You amend the motion.
to continue. Okay.
I'll say it.
Second by Lynette. Okay. Okay, those in favor, place one? Yes. Place two? Place three?
Yes.
Place four?
Yes.
Okay, we need to set up for
Yes.
workshop so that we can start. Because she's gonna have to redo the whole process of.
Well, for the workshop, no. For the
No,
workshop,
for
I
the
just need
workshop,
for you
no.
all have
Yes, but you
when
have to
you all are
redo the whole
available.
stuff, right?
to have a workshop.
I think, I mean, do we have to do that tonight?
No.
Because let's get with Ochoa and see what,
Oh, yeah, because.
because I don't want his grant that he worked hard for
Yeah.
to be deactivated. I mean, he's worked really hard for the citizens for that grant.
Mhm.
So, and it's gonna allow us great benefits, so let's get with him, and then we'll make her, so at least I will, available.
Well, yeah.
Don't wait for us.
Anytime, I mean,
Hey, let's get with him and then we'll move forward.
it could be on a Saturday, it could
Next week,
be,
we can, sooner the better.
Okay.
That way, if it does come to that point, we could actually respond to it.
But Gerald, why did you put us in a crunch like that?
Me,
I mean, you said we had this timeline with that budget, you said we had a week. I think a week, didn't say we had a week to do this?
no.
I mean, he said this kind of time, yours time critical for this grant.
Because the budget should.
Yeah, that's what I said, but if we would have had this, if we would have had this, it might have been better. It probably been
Yeah,
better
but
for
that
you.
doesn't follow me.
Yeah.
That falls on y'all.
That's what I say, like I said, but you told us, hey, I only got this much time left.
Well, it's not that I have that much time.
Yeah.
Is that it might affect our grant.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
We don't have a budget approved.
Right.
That's on y'all, that's not on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that falls back on y'all.
they'll continue to run on the current budget.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
And we just need to make sure that our grants are not affected.
Okay.
So.
I messed with that.
That'd be cool.
Okay, so you're gonna set a time for 60 days, max?
No.
No.
We need to get,
It's gonna be
No
like.
time.
Get with,
The quicker the better.
That's right.
They're not,
Like for
don't
next
put
week or
60 days.
something,
no.
right?
yeah, no, the quicker the better. Let's get
Is
with
that
Gerald,
next year?
and then we'll work around it.
Okay. So-
Yeah, I mean, because 60, you don't want to put 60 days. no.
I want to do it ASAP.
Well, I was just
Give
up
what Hector
to,
to
up
see
to
what
60
his-
days.
Yeah, 'cause-
Because they're the ones that
I
have
agree.
schedules.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, I mean, don't put.
I'm not here doing my.
The quicker the better.
Well, yes, that is
Don't
true.
put- don't put-
Well, I didn't know.
And then we'll say 60 days and
Oh, yeah.
nobody shows up.
Okay, now we're gonna head on to, reports from the mayor, city councils that may be given, but no formal action can be taken.
I saw that, y'all, the streets. And, that's gonna continue.
Yes, yes,
Because, Olive South had some big holes over there.
yes, sir.
I don't know, did you get to them by the pool?
No, not yet.
Not yet, but it's on the schedule.
Okay, and then the parade route for the school, we can check that out just to make sure everything's okay. Yeah,
What do you mean check?
I mean, just that there's no
potholes.
potholes in there, somebody steps in it.
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have some stuff from the governor where he, extended the pursuant to his powers as governor. Yeah, please stop. Pursuant to his powers as governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott has issued a proclamation renewing the declaration stating that the novel, the COVID-19 poses an imminent threat of disaster for all counties in Texas. The original proclamation is attached to this letter. So basically what they're doing, they're extending it. And so it's, I don't know. I'll let you read it.
Well, we got time.
Yeah. And then there's also another one, I have two, so you have time for two? Okay. Pursuant to his powers, again, it's a proclamation declaring and renewing a state of disaster in a certain number of counties based on the existence of serious drought conditions that pose an imminent threat of widespread or severe damage, injury, or loss of life or property. So those are the two proclamations that were issued by Evan. And also, we did go to the COG, and it did pass. So it did pass, it passed, and so the county will be distributing.
Good deal.
And we don't need to have a permit.
So it'll be $2.7 million. I think that's what we get, right?
I think it's.
Yes, 2.7. 2.7.
Yes, yeah, it is.
But we gotta have projects, just like Sarah said, we gotta have projects. Yeah.
We have projects.
I got a
Silver projects, yeah. We have plenty of projects for that.
Okay, EDC, we finished that little area there.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Hey, I'm talking.
It looks good. It looks good.
Okay, we finished that.
It looks good.
Also, we thrashed or cut or something, that new area for the park. Have anybody seen that area? That, Sharp Park? There, we cleaned all that up. It's, and also there's a house there that we can't do nothing to the bees. There's plenty
Well,
of bees.
they went,
I think
they went
this
Friday,
weekend.
they went
Or this past weekend,
So-
they were out there, yeah.
And that's the only project we got going, so.
and it's starting to look nice.
Yeah.
It's starting to look real nice.
We just gotta get, we need to get it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, yes.
But you brought that up, just I wanted to see if I could put cost and take around that.
Oh, yes. People are going.
So John's, we'll get, John,
See there?
No, he's
but John is in charge of that right now, because we got a bunch of vehicles, and the guy busted a machine 3 times.
So we'll have somebody go to the park and please get some.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We need to put something
Yeah.
like this
Okay.
right there,
Just call it
or
the park
something.
area, so.
And another thing, we're going to TML, and the mayor wants a gazebo, so we're gonna go get her gazebo.
Hey, when is, Clayton's Meat Market gonna open?
They haven't given us
Can we reach out to them?
Nothing?
He's got his fridge, he said about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks?
2 weeks, because he said the fridge takes like 7 days for them to cool.
Hey, let's put that on the website. People can see
Once
it.
we find, yeah, and it's gonna open.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And we want to remind everybody, we're still in hurricane season, so November 1st. So keep an eye out, so keep an eye out there.
Dale Nelson said, when you get the first one for it, that's it.
And that's,
There's
that's,
something out there that we have that they're watching, so. Any other comments? Do you have a motion for?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion made second.
Second.
Second by Isaac. All those in favor say? All those opposed? Okay, nobody opposed. Okay, thank you.